Good morning, students. Today's March 23rd. Today's warm-up is called More Weird Shapes. This is based on a suggestion from a student who posted in the comments that she would like to learn more about how we calculate the area for weird shapes. So here we go. Again, all that you need for materials today are a piece of paper and something to write with. So please make sure that you're ready. You're copying down what you see in my notebook in the notebook or paper in front of you. So here is our warm-up. Please take a moment to copy down these shapes and see if you can calculate the area on your own. All right, we are now going to go over these together. So for the first one, I'm going to start by dividing it up into shapes that I know how to find the area for. So here I have a rectangle and a triangle. My rectangle I can see is 5 by 3. So I'm going to multiply 5 by 3. And then my triangle, I know that the height is 3. And I don't know right away what this length is. But I can figure it out because I know that this part of my rectangle is 5, and I know this whole entire length is 7, and so I know that I need something where 5 plus some length equals 7, because I know this part is 5, so 5 plus whatever this is has to equal the 7. I know that's a 2, so that means that my triangle is 3 tall and 2 wide. To find the area of a triangle, I can do 3 times 2. Reminder that that really is telling me what the area of a rectangle would be. The triangle is half of that. So I'm going to do 6 divided by 2. So my triangle is 3. So to find the total area, I'm going to add those together. 15 plus 3 is 18 is my total area. You'll notice that for these warm-ups, I'm not giving you units because I just want you to practice the actual calculations. So you don't need to worry about adding inches, feet, whatever onto these. In the future, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to units. All right, our next one, let's see how we can divide this up. So I know I could divide it up into this to make 2 rectangles. I could also do it here to make 2 rectangles. You might have chosen a different way. And so if you draw a line here, that works. If you draw a line here, that works. I'm going to go ahead and do it here. But again, you might have drawn the line going this way. You should still get the same answer. Okay, let's start off with this one. I know this is 5 tall, 3 wide. So my area for this first rectangle is 15. And then let's see if we know enough to figure out the second one. I know the height, and I don't yet know the width. But I can look around my rectangle and see what information I do have. So I see that this whole entire thing is 7, and I see that this part is 3. So if I'm trying to figure out what this is, I know that this plus this has to equal this. So I'm thinking to myself, 3 plus what equals to 7? And I know that that has to be a 4. So this length here is 4. So now I know that I have a rectangle that's 4 wide and 2 tall. So my area for that rectangle is 8. So to find the total area, again, I'm going to add the 2 parts. So I have 15 plus 8 for a total area of 23. All right, let's move along to the last one. So this one looks kind of funky, but we're going to see what information we need to find. So let's start off with our rectangle. Oh, and I was nice and I gave you the width and the height already, so we know 5 times 4 gives us 20. Now let's look and see what we can do with the 2 triangles. So we know that the width here is 1, the height It doesn't say, but I know that the height for my rectangle is going to be the same on this side as it is on this side. So that means that if the height of the rectangle is 4, that also is our height of our triangle. So here this triangle is 1 by 4 equals 4. And that's the area of, if this is a rectangle. So again, I need to divide it by 2 to figure out what the area of the triangle is. So now we have the area of our triangle is 2. And on this one, it's a little bit wider. So again, if I'm finding the area of this rectangle, that would be 4 times 2. It's 8, but the triangle is only half of that. So this is 4. So last step, we're going to add our areas together. So we have 20 for the rectangle, 2 for one triangle, 4 for the other triangle, for an area of 20 plus 2 is 22, plus 4 is 26. So go ahead and check your work on the warm-up. And reminder that we always want to be doing our warm-up first on our own to see what parts we're understanding before we check it together. You'll learn more from stretching your brain to see how much you can do on your own, and then checking your work than just copying it down. All right, hopefully that was helpful as a review of some more areas of weird shapes. We're now going to move along to our lesson for today. So I actually made some slides to go along with this. Our learning goal for today is that we are going to use proportional reasoning to answer a story problem. Proportional reasoning is basically if you're looking at the quantities of different things. So using the information about one quantity to make some calculations about another when you're given some information. So like here, we're given the information that hexagon C is twice as big as hexagon B. We're also going to practice a really important skill with story problems, which is breaking a story problem down into steps. So here's a story problem that we're aiming to solve. It says Tyson empties 6 jugs of milk into a container. Each jug contains 4 liters of milk. He uses the container of milk to fill cartons. Each carton requires 250 milliliters of milk. How many cartons will he be able to fill? So you can see that this story problem has a lot of different information, and it's going to take multiple steps to solve. So in your notebook, take a moment to write down, what do you notice and what do you wonder from the short video that we just watched? And anything works, so just write down any observations that you see. So I see a square and a rectangle is a fine observation to make. Write down anything else that you notice from that short little video that we watched. And then also write down what you wonder. So what questions do you have? All right, because we're not in a classroom, I wrote down some ideas. Usually I would ask students to share out what they wrote. Unfortunately, we are not all in the same space right now. So I'm going to share some things that other students who have done this problem have shared in the past. So one thing is I noticed a square and a rectangle. I noticed the square is all the way filled and the rectangle is only partially filled. I noticed that it looks like all of the liquid is draining from the square into the rectangle. And I wonder how many squares it would take to fill one rectangle. Please add your own ideas. These are not the only answers. I just wanted to share some ideas in case you were feeling stuck. All right, the next thing is that you're going to be making a prediction. So the prediction that you're trying to make is how many of these squares will it take to fill the rectangle at the bottom? So we're sticking with the question, how many squares does it take to fill one rectangle? So pause the video right now and then try to answer this problem on your own. All right, let's see what the answer is. Okay, so we can see that there's 6 squares per one rectangle. And that's just based on the size of the drawing. So again, that's proportional reasoning. 1 square is 1/6 of the whole rectangle. So it takes 6 squares to fill a rectangle. The real question that we're trying to answer is how many of these, the little squares, do you think that it takes to fill up the whole rectangle? Show your thinking. Again, there's not a right or wrong way to solve this. I want you to make a guess and also write down any additional questions that you have. So if there's more information that would be helpful for you to be able to solve this question, write that down and we'll go over it in the video for tomorrow. So I want this to be your homework of thinking about this on your own. I want to give you some time to actually work with this before I give the answer. So show your work, make a guess, and write down what additional information you would need to figure it out. Also a reminder to please be getting your Freckle Minutes if you can. You can also check out Khan Academy and Prodigy if you have extra time. I miss you all and I look forward to our video tomorrow. Bye.